Hi everyone, happy Sunday. Welcome to another sponsored by no one edition of Quoi. There are lots of queries to get through, and as always, I shall endeavor to get through as many as possible. Headline news of the week, obviously, I got a bowl cut. And not all of you like it, this many shits, but there is a reason behind this madness. My hair was so long, and I can't style it myself, but I was using hair ties all the time, and it was actually breaking my hair. And as a close to middle-aged man, really enjoys the fact that they still have any hair at all. I wanted to protect them as best as I possibly could. With that said, there's a lot to get through, and in addition to Quoi, I'm adding an accessory program because I got a lot of music questions, like what's on my playlist? Why is your music so great? So I'm going to add like a weekly hit list of my top 3 songs of the week. So let's get through it all. Gaga, Karl Lagerfeld, Marie Antoinette, those are names that I look to in terms of style, but basically I let the clothes do the work for me. If I'm inspired by a garment, then it ends up on my body. I mean, I needed a little pick-me-up today, so vintage Gautier. I love how David reacts to situations and conversations that he's in, and Dan Levy's a genius in the way he portrays David Rose. But my favorite thing and the funniest thing that I've ever seen from him is when he's getting held up at the apothecary and he says, "Our money isn't for sale." Oh, it's a dead possum. Yeah, as I covered in my opening for this Quoi, I needed a change, and a bowl cut works for me. I don't care if you like it or not. I have a big forehead, so this is nice. Not seeing your technique, it's hard for me to say what you specifically need to do, but when learning any new jump on the ice, I can say that you have to commit 100%. You have to give yourself to it. You hurt yourself so much more falling on things you don't go for, so just go for it. Don't be scared. There's nothing like a big arena show, and my favorite arenas around the world to perform in are Luzhniki in Moscow, Yoyogi Stadium in Tokyo. I love the Mercedes building in Shanghai and the TD Garden in Boston. I'm not a gifted runner. I've always had the opinion that running is really hard on your knees, and I need my knees for my job, so I don't run. I walk gracefully. I prance more so. Could I prance a triathlon? Very, very partial to a Japanese chin. Now that I've had Tioma for 9 years, he is just the most regal and majestic and loving little creature. So I would only get chins, but if I were to get a big dog, maybe a Borzoi, and name him Stanislav. Obviously my family and my friends, I want them to be proud of my skating, and my coaches certainly. But from a commentary standpoint, I always wanted to hear what Dick Button had to say about my skating, because sometimes it was harsh, but it also made me work harder to impress him. I was never really friends with my competitors, but I can say that when I competed with Tomasz Werner, he was always so kind, even though we were in the harshest competitive environment. And Yevgeny Plyushenko, whenever he competed in an event with me, he elevated everyone. I actually have competed on The Masked Singer. I was the egg in season 2. I was the first eliminated, which was a bummer. But you know, I'm not a really gifted singer, so it was more the experience and the fun of it that I was after. And it certainly was. I could only see like this much. I've never been to Alaska, and I really do feature a chilly environment, and I think it would be right up my alley. Bears and salmons. I haven't worked with a coach for so long, and it is something that I miss, but I can coach myself now with the iPhone. That's why you get so many skating videos of me, is because I prop up the phone so I can see what I'm doing wrong and correct it myself. My hair was really curly when I was young, so as I've aged, it's gone kind of pin straight. So it doesn't take a lot, I just blow dry it. But shampoo, conditioner, and a mask are super important, and I use all Oribe. I can't say she's the only one that makes them, but my mother makes the best chicken and dumplings, and in fact, she's making them today for Sunday family dinner. And after I finish this, after I take my sheer top off, I'm gonna put on my white fleecy Eton dress. I landed my first triple axel after 3 years on the ice. And I'd say I was working on it for a couple of months. Triple axel was a jump that I was scared to learn. So I had to step over that hurdle and get it done. To become an elite athlete, you really do have to have a one-track mind. And when that's over, of course you think, now what? I still think now what after every project that I do. I've been lucky enough to work a lot after my competitive career was over. But it's really hard for athletes to figure out what's next. I'm so sorry that happened to you. I don't really have like a moral of the story moment here. I feel better, get better soon, but definitely ice for the nose, and Aquaphor for cuts is very good. Well, I was the Grand Marshal of the LA Pride Parade in West Hollywood, and that was a magnificent experience. I am a proud person, so I feel like I celebrate and champion Pride on the daily. But even pre-pandemic, I'm nervous in large crowds, so I don't go in them often. Sure, I can say that, being an athlete, I wasn't socialized properly, so I didn't really date when I was young, and I still can say that I don't really know how to do it. So, I mean, if something, crosses my desk, then I'm more than happy to try it. Very favorite characters on The Magicians are Margot, Summer Bichil, and the Fairy Queen, Candace Cain. And I love that they're so strong, so powerful in their own rights, but I probably am most like Quentin. Way more than I thought I would. Usually with projects, I'll miss them for a while and then move on to the next thing, but Dancing with the Stars is still sitting right here every day, and I miss the rigors of preparation, I miss the big Monday night performances, and I miss learning from and hanging out with my dear Brit. There are a few. My favorite numbers with Brit are our Viennese Waltz to Creep, our Contemporary to Total Eclipse of the Heart, our Foxtrot to Shawn Mendes's Wonder. I got out of a really, really toxic relationship where a normal thing I would hear is, well, at least you're pretty. And ultimately, I had to decide that I love myself more than they pretended to love me. And it's really hard, but you're the one who has to do it. On the time that I got out of competitive skating, I designed costumes for my friends and people I loved, and one of them, and I designed several for him, is Yuzuru Hanyu, who actually won his first Olympic title in an outfit that I designed. I obviously miss live performances and my skating tours and things like that, but on a daily basis, I miss seeing people's faces. I miss the casual luxury of being able to admire someone from afar or to be out at dinner and make a new friend. Now we're all just so terrified of one another, it's hard. In skating, every technical element has a base value and then an increased value depending on how well you perform it. And their base values are determined by how difficult they are, and unfortunately the scratch spin, even though it's impressive, is pretty much worthless in the grand scheme of things. I preface this answer by saying that I'm not a financial guru, nor am I a real estate guru, so take it with a grain of salt, but I feel like New York City is always going to be New York City. And I've been thinking about the same thing myself a lot, and Manhattan seems to be it. I don't go to services at church. I will, however, go to church when I need a moment of reflection or calm, or if I need to light candles for someone. I go to church then. I don't know how to formulate the drag name. Probably something Russian, as a theme. Mary Matryoshka, something. I know porn name is your first pet in the street you grew up on, but drag name, I don't know. I generally don't like rugs. I grew up with them everywhere because my parents are obsessed with throw rugs. Anywhere they can put one, there's a rug. So I like a nice clean floor, but I have learned that my style is traditional with the medallion in the center, or aubusson. Well, Tom Hiddleston and I look the most similar of any major actor that I'm aware of. But I would love it if Timothée Chalamet were to play me, or Cate Blanchett. Cate Blanchett can do anything. Question for you, why not? Irina Romanova is the creative director of the skating shows that my rink puts on and works as a choreographer for many of the skaters, and she's a former top ice dancer from Ukraine herself, but Pegasus is hers. Obviously not all the songs and artists have been selected for Eurovision yet, but this weekend Norway, Spain, and Estonia had their contests, and I really loved Last Contest from Spain. I love Shum from Ukraine, the band Goa, but I'm waiting on Tati Freyja from Iceland. I thought that was going to be the winner last year. I get nervous for everything, whether it's dancing or commentating or skating performances. I get very nervous because I have the opinion that if you aren't nervous, then you don't really care that much about something. Like, I don't get nervous to go to the grocery store, but if you're nervous, then you care. I keep all of my skating costumes, even from when I was just a little guy, and maybe next weekend for Qua, I'll take you on a little tour of where they all hang. But yeah, they're my memories. I lived the best moments of my life in those costumes, so I would never get rid of them. I love Hungary. I love Budapest so much. I love Hungarian culture. It's very opulent and chic and vibrant and knowing. And I love visiting. I love me some goulash. Hungarian language is hard though, and I have a good ear for language, but it's a tough one. For about the last month, I myself have felt really down and blah and like I can't get enough sleep. And there's no quick fix. There's no band-aid for something like that. You have to live through it so that you can appreciate the light at the end of the tunnel. So stay strong. I got to meet so many of my heroes, and they've all been kind and lovely and supportive, and I wasn't terribly nervous to meet any of them, but I queened out hard when I met Jacob Anderson, who plays Grey Worm on Game of Thrones, like full breakdown. That if you're utilizing public space, you should be masked, even if you're the only one there, like I am at the rink, even though it's a big open space. I don't know who is there working around me or who's coming after me, and God knows what flies out of my face. So the responsible thing to do in practicing what I preach, I wear a mask. Well, this is going to segue us perfectly into Johnny's hit list, the top 3 songs of the week, in my opinion. But my favorite Amy Winehouse song ever is Back to Black. There's so much passion and depth in that song, and I love it. Guys, that's all the time I have for Qua this week. Thank you so much for all of your submissions. I love doing this with you, and I so appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you very, very much. I hope you enjoyed it. And I shall now segue into a new special feature, Hit List, the top 3 songs from my week. Thank you guys. I love you. Enjoy.